while since I've done any video. There's a variety of reasons for that. There's a lot going on, as usual, as per usual. I haven't been able to isolate who I'm talking to and why, and so I haven't posted any video recently because I've been working on a lot of internal workings with the Lord, a lot of inner chamber sort of conversations with God, and have needed to kind of work through that in the relationships that He has given me, my personal relationships with dear friends that have walked with me, for 30 years, some of them greater than that, and yeah, so it's, and there's just been a lot of every day the Lord is doing something. So I guess I want to get on here when I feel like there's an urgency in my spirit to address things that seem to come up within me, and also just relationally, like what I'm noticing God is bringing to my table. And I find that when I'm in the moment, I'm having a harder time confronting some things I just want to close off. Because some deep fears come up from childhood, and yeah, so I'm trying to work through that. God's surrounding me with all sorts of tools for that, and I'm thankful for that. And the reason there's an authenticity here is not because I feel like I need to have my face all over social media. If I did, then I would have done that throughout my whole adult life. I've struggled with social media because of the complexities of it and what that brings out of people, including myself. And I have just wanted to rest in the Lord, but I do feel like this is a call to obedience, not just for my healing, because I could record videos and keep them for myself, or I could do the things, worship the Lord in my own room, and sing to Him and dance to Him where nobody else sees. But I feel that in Him meeting me in these places, that He touches parts of me that have had wounding and have held on to lies and body memory, and have held on to the trauma. And I hear Jesus saying, I've taken this on for you, Sarah, so that you can live in my freedom. And in the freedom, there is a dying to self, because you know that when you confront that and you're living freely, that you're going to be accused, that people are going to assume the worst of you, or think more highly than they should, like that you're premeditating things, or that they just don't think highly of you at all. They think you're just crazy, or whatever it is, that when people are bold enough to step out and do what they feel called to do and live in the joy of the Lord, there is going to be a testing with that. There's going to be a shaking to anything else that our identity would find security in order for us to fully rest in the Lord. And so anytime I post a video and I'm wanting the validity of likes or views, or just to be able to have a friend watch it and then talk to me about it, that's all nice, but like if my security lied in that, then this would be just torment to do this all the time. And so there's been a lot of going in and out of like this process with the Lord of being external and then going internal, into the quietness of the garden with Him and drawing from Him in my deepest place of need, and in great humility. And so I, in that process, become this child that realizes that my Father, God in heaven, is speaking to me, and is a loving God, and I see His purpose in allowing me to walk through hard things so that He can be found in me, and so that His image can shine in me, and so that in my willingness, in saying, I agree, He's good, like I want my life to reflect something, then more than just me in my inner chambers enjoying Him, is that, will you, Sarah, allow your process to be seen? Will you be vulnerable and authentic, fully secured in me, and allow me to clothe you, and not have like your self-defenses or the justifications or approvals of your best counselors and confidants? Will you hide yourself in me and be found in me? Because that is the sort of bride that I'm looking for when I come back, is one that's fully given, fully yielded over to Him, trusting that He is the one that's doing the good work in us, trusting that He is going to come again in bodily form, trusting again that He is going to give us glorified bodies that are able to withstand a lot of the fiery darts that we get hit up with. And I think that that's a process of walking out now in obedience and allowing Him to like strengthen us. But then there is this element of just believing that He is going to make something that seems impossible to us possible. And He's done that in the lives of His children time and again, when we look back and we're like, why am I feeling unfaithful again? Why am I in this desert, this wilderness of complaining? So I do a book a week with some friends. We read through a book in the Bible a week, and started in 1 Samuel, then we were in Hebrews last week, and then this week in Romans. And I've just been stuck in chapters 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, just like blown away, convicted, feeling the Lord talking to me tenderly, deeply, encouraging me to keep going, and facing my fears. And so lately, this past week, it's been the fears of entering back into working as a nurse, however that should look. That's right now just conversations with an old coworker friend of mine who's now the nurse manager where I used to work, and just having honest and raw conversations about some of the traumatic events that had me walk away believing lies about myself, and just reinforced lies from childhood that just felt like it was too much for me to handle and to continue to function as a nurse, and do that well. And so the Lord graciously had me, come home, work, be a stay-at-home mom, and with 4 kids who are all homeschooling, and we're outsourcing a lot of their education because I don't consider myself a teacher. I teach through my life and just how I live my life and conduct my life. And I do see that our kids have learned a lot of good from that model of parenting from James and I, but then there's deficiencies that's like, okay, Lord, you need to cover. And it's like that in every family, really. So if we could all just give ourselves grace for that instead of microscoping and micromanaging each other's lives and our own lives, trying to compare there. I say that mostly to myself because I feel my greatest fears are, that my friends are thinking the worst of me and like seeing my deficiencies and then whatnot. So I tend to be a little bit more guarded in my relationships because of that. And that again comes from childhood wounding. So anyway, yeah, just this past week has been exploring conversations with some of my old coworkers that saw me function in some pretty high level stress situations, and just kind of working through that in a more honest, more authentic, real place now. I do want to pursue midwifery at some point, so I've got to overcome some things, and I do want to pursue the route of lactation, and I'm trying to get approval from the education department at the hospital that I used to work at. So just waiting on those things, having conversations, still going to counseling with Sandy, having more authentic conversations in my friendship groups, in the one-on-one conversations, and also in smaller cell conversations, and then largely more authentically when getting into the Word with this group of ladies. It's about 20 of us that are just kind of following through together, kind of tracking together. So, and that's kind of a loose thing as well. So yeah, there's been a lot that the Lord's been bringing to the table, a lot of fears, belief systems that I'm trying to uproot with Him, and trust that He is the one who's bringing healing in this process for me. And in turn, hopefully, is like my testimony, me just sharing this much, is an encouragement to somebody who's watching. Last night I had the privilege of watching a beautiful, I guess it was like kind of like a mid-rash service. It's like people were sharing their testimonies at a midweek service. It was a new moon service at a congregation that my mom follows called Jacob's Tent, and was so touched by two testimonies in particular that just discussed childhood post-traumatic stress disorder and the process that the Lord has been taking them on in their journey, as He is being found, as the testimony and witness of Jesus is being found in them and in their testimony. And God, like, I can logically say this for myself, but I believe this and feel it for other people. So I have to say that by faith for me is that He cares so deeply for those that have been purposely wounded and purposely hurt and targeted for even mind control. There's different variations of mind control. And I'll go into my testimony. Some of this is like the Lord slowly unfolds things and shows things to me as He knows that I can become conscious of in a very loving and gracious way, so that my life is enjoyed with Him. Like, it's like He doesn't give me too much and then I can't enjoy things with Him. Like, joy is our strength. His joy is our strength. And so He knows that, and He woos us. And gosh, I have a winner of a husband that has been a beautiful model of that for me. And God knew that I needed that in a husband. And so I just pray that, whatever's modeled in my life is a blessing and as a testimony and as a witness to anybody else that's going through stuff that they may not understand, but they're walking out with the Lord one step at a time in obedience, and may feel like, is this worth it? Yes, it is worth it. Please hold on. Jesus is coming for you, and he is doing that sometimes through the people that we know and love, and the faces that we know his kindness in. And so anyway, I pray that that's an encouragement to you. And I'm gonna be stopping this video, but will be, I don't know if